Welcome to an exploration of one of the most intriguing and debated stories from the Old Testament, the account of the witch of Endor, raising the spirit of the prophet Samuel, as told in 1 Samuel chapter 28. This tale has sparked theological debates for centuries and has been dissected in countless scholarly articles, shaping our understanding of biblical exegesis from ancient times to the dawn of the modern era. But what about its significance in the realm of folklore and cultural beliefs? Surprisingly, very little attention has been given to this aspect of the Endor story. In this lecture, we delve into the religious and cultural implications of this enigmatic narrative through the lens of folklorists. Where is Endor located? The location of the ancient site of Endor is widely debated, and many locations have been suggested. From the biblical accounts, an Endor that is located on the south edge of the Jezreel Valley seems to fit best. The tribal allotments of Manasseh, Saul's journey to Endor, and the defeat of Sisera's army all fit well with a location that is on this side of the valley, somewhere between Ibleam and Taanach. However, there are difficulties with this location. From the origin of the name, a spring must also be located somewhere near, and archaeological evidence from the time of Joshua, Judges, and Saul is required. Many suggested sites are located on the north side of the Jezreel Valley, near or on the hill of Moreh. The main reasons for this placement are due to tradition and name preservation. The major difficulty in a northern location for Endor is that it does not seem to fit the biblical accounts well. Despite its brevity and apparent insignificance within the broader scope of Bible history, King Saul's encounter with the woman of Endor, as chronicled in 1 Samuel chapter 28, has resonated remarkably across the ages, from antiquity to the present day. This narrative stands out as one of the few instances where a woman from the Old Testament has deeply permeated Christian religious culture, largely due to her association with the label of witch. This transformation occurred during the tumultuous era of the European witch trials in the early modern period and became firmly entrenched in Western popular culture during the 18th and 19th centuries. The reasons behind this evolution offer valuable insights into folklore, shedding light on popular religious practices, the interpretation of Bible stories, and the nuances of gender politics in religious imagery during the 19th century. Before delving into the intricacies of this transformation, let us revisit the story itself. In the pivotal encounter at Endor, three central figures take the stage: King Saul, the spirit of the prophet Samuel, and the enigmatic woman of Endor. Saul's servants, though present, serve as silent witnesses to the unfolding events. In biblical history, Saul emerges as the inaugural king of a united Israel, approximately a millennium before Christ. The Hebrew Testament offers varied accounts of his ascent to the throne, one of which depicts his anointing by Samuel, a revered judge and prophet who wielded considerable influence among the Israelites. However, discord arose between Saul and Samuel, following Saul's sparing of the Amalekites after their conquest. Despite explicit divine command to obliterate the tribe entirely, Saul chose to spare their king and retain the spoils of war. This disobedience incurred Samuel's wrath, who prophesied that God could both grant and revoke Saul's kingship, subsequently anointing David as the future king in secrecy. Following Samuel's passing, Saul expelled all practitioners of divination and sorcery from the land. Yet on the eve of a decisive battle against the Philistines, Saul, desperate for divine guidance, violated his own decree by seeking counsel from a forbidden source. Thus he journeyed to Endor to meet the mysterious woman, as recounted in the King James Bible, 1 Samuel chapter 28, verses 5 to 25. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. Then said Saul unto his servants, Seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that I may go to her, and inquire of her. And his servant said to him, Behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit at Endor. And Saul disguised himself, and put on other raiment, and he went, and two men with him, and they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name unto thee. And the woman said unto him, Behold, thou knowest what Saul hath done, how he hath cut off those that have familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. Wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life, to cause me to die? And Saul swore to her by the Lord, saying, As the Lord liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing. Then said the woman, Whom shall I bring up unto thee? And he said, Bring me up Samuel. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spake to Saul, saying, Why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. And the king said unto her, Be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. And he said unto her, What form is he of? And she said, An old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel, and he stooped with his face to the ground, and bowed himself. And Samuel said to Saul, Why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me, and answereth me no more, neither by prophets, nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do. Then said Samuel, Wherefore then dost thou ask of me, seeing the Lord is departed from thee, and is become thine enemy? And the Lord hath done to him as he spake by me. For the Lord hath rent the kingdom out of thine hand, and given it to thy neighbor, even to David, because thou obeyedst not the voice of the Lord, nor executedst his fierce wrath upon Amalek. Therefore hath the Lord done this thing unto thee this day. Moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines, and tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me. The Lord also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hand of the Philistines. Then Saul fell straightway all along on the earth, and was sore afraid, because of the words of Samuel, and there was no strength in him, for he had eaten no bread all the day, nor all the night. And the woman came unto Saul, and saw that he was sore troubled, and said unto him, Behold, thine handmaid hath obeyed thy voice, and I have put my life in my hand, and have hearkened unto thy words which thou spakest unto me. Now therefore I pray thee, hearken thou also unto the voice of thine handmaid, and let me set a morsel of bread before thee, and eat, that thou mayest have strength, when thou goest on thy way. But he refused, and said, I will not eat. But his servants together with the woman compelled him, and he hearkened unto their voice. So he arose from the earth, and sat upon the bed. And the woman had a fat calf in the house, and she hasted, and killed it, and took flour, and kneaded it, and did bake unleavened bread thereof. And she brought it before Saul, and before his servants, and they did eat. Then they rose up, and went away that night. Saul and 3 of his sons are killed in the battle. As stated in 1 Chronicles 10:13, Saul died for his transgression which he committed against the Lord, even against the word of the Lord, which he kept not, and also for asking counsel of one that had a familiar spirit, to inquire of it. In early rabbinic exegesis, the narrative of Endor was often interpreted literally, with a general consensus that Samuel's spirit indeed appeared, and that the woman possibly played a role in summoning him. Smellick Citation 1979. However, this viewpoint was not without debate. Pseudo-Philo, an obscure figure believed to have authored biblical antiquities in the 1st or 2nd centuries CE, maintained that while Samuel's appearance was genuine, it occurred at God's command rather than through the power of a mere necromancer, although he acknowledged the possibility of necromancy. During the Gaonic rabbinic era spanning from the 6th to the 11th centuries, skepticism towards this literal interpretation grew. Within the early church fathers, significant discussions ensued regarding the nature of Samuel's appearance and the woman's abilities. Some, like Origen of Alexandria, c. 185 c. 253, embraced a straightforward reading of 1 Samuel 28, accepting the woman's role in summoning Samuel's spirit as depicted in the text. Others, such as Saint Eustathius, Bishop of Antioch, dismissed the story as demonic deception, viewing it as an illusion orchestrated by the devil, the master of deceit. See Connor Citation 2000. A third perspective emerged, proposing that while the woman did indeed witness what appeared to be Samuel, it could have been a demon masquerading as the prophet. This nuanced interpretation navigated between the literal and allegorical readings of the text, acknowledging the complexities of spiritual manifestations and demonic influences. The medieval period saw little deviation in the ongoing debates surrounding the Endor narrative. As Charles Zika's research reveals, medieval illustrations frequently depicted the Endor story, yet the woman is often relegated to a background figure, positioned behind Saul during his encounter with the spirit of Samuel. Strikingly absent are depictions of her engaging in divinatory or necromantic practices, Zika citation 2017. It's noteworthy that while Samuel is recognized as a prophet in early Islam, the woman of Endor finds no mention in the Quran. However, some early medieval Arabic scholars, notably the 10th century Iraqi thinkers known as Ikhwan al-Safa, or the Brethren of Purity, did contemplate the Endor encounter. Their focus, however, primarily revolved around Saul and the intricate interplay between magic, justice, and politics, Al-Mutawa citation 2021. During the tumultuous era of the 16th and 17th centuries, amidst the fervor of the witch trials, attention shifted from Saul and Samuel to the woman of Endor. She became a focal point, often cited as biblical evidence for the existence of witches and as divine justification for the stringent secular laws aimed at their suppression. This narrative gained traction through vernacular translations of the Old Testament, solidifying the woman's portrayal as a sinister necromantic witch. Notably, the Geneva Bible of 1560 labeled her as a woman that hath a familiar spirit and as a witchy, while the Luther Bible referred to her as a woman who has a divining spirit, using terms like Zauberin, sorceress, and later hexa, witch. Subsequent editions of the King James Bible in 1611, while using the term a woman that hath a familiar spirit instead of witch, were accompanied by commentaries that plainly referred to her as such when introducing 1 Samuel 28. This linguistic evolution contributed to the deep entrenchment of the term familiar in English and Scottish discourse concerning witches, associating them with supposed animal-shaped demonic spirits believed to assist in their witchcraft. Artistic depictions of the woman underwent a transformation during this period, portraying her engaged in conjurations rather than merely serving as a conduit for Samuel's appearance, whether real or imagined. Paintings and engravings depicted her in this new light, amplifying the perception of her as a practitioner of dark magic. The proliferation of such representations in printed woodcuts from the 1560s onwards further solidified her image as a conjuring witch in popular culture. Zika citation 2015. The Endor narrative became a battleground for political and religious conflict in the wake of the Reformation, with Protestants and Catholics engaging in fierce debates over its interpretation. Le Cercle citation 2011. For Protestants, refuting the existence of ghosts and purgatory, viewed as Catholic superstitions, was integral to their theology. Thus, the notion of Samuel's spirit returning had to be vehemently dismissed as the deceptive work of the devil. In some late 17th century anti-Catholic polemics, the Witch of Endor was even symbolically equated with the Catholic Church. King James VI of Scotland, in his Daemonologie, 1597, employed the Endor story to bolster his arguments against witches, portraying the woman as a consort of the devil, akin to those being tried and executed under his Witchcraft and Conjuration Act of 1604, see Damsma citation 2021. On the Catholic side, theologians were less concerned with the story's implications and generally accepted that the witch did indeed perceive Samuel's spirit, though they attributed his intercession to divine, rather than demonic influence. However, divisions within Protestantism persisted, with figures like Henry More, 1614-87, and Joseph Glanville, 1636-80, staunchly advocating for the belief in Samuel's return as a refutation of modern skepticism. Cameron citation 2010, 278-80. Reginald Scott, an English witchcraft skeptic and fervent anti-Catholic, proposed a secular interpretation of the Endor events. Like King James and other British demonologists, Scott labeled the woman a pythoness rather than a witch, drawing on the ancient Greek oracle at Delphi. According to this view, the woman was merely an illusionist and ventriloquist, using her skills to deceive Saul. This rational interpretation gained traction in the Enlightenment era, finding expression in the works of scholars like the Reverend Joseph Juxon and M.J. Naylor, who saw the Endor episode as a demonstration of ventriloquism rather than supernatural phenomena. Juxon citation 1736, Naylor citation 1795. As we conclude our exploration of the woman of Endor and the intriguing encounter with King Saul, it becomes apparent that this ancient tale continues to captivate scholars and thinkers across centuries. Despite centuries of debate, theological scrutiny, and scholarly analysis, a definitive conclusion remains elusive. The question persists: was it truly the spirit of the prophet Samuel that appeared to Saul, or was it a familiar spirit conjured by the woman's arts? From the early rabbinic exegesis to the confessional battles of the Reformation, and from the fervor of the witch trials to the rational interpretations of the Enlightenment, the Endor story has traversed realms of theology, politics, and folklore. Yet scholars have not arrived at a consensus regarding the nature of the apparition that Saul encountered on that fateful night. As we reflect on the enduring mystery of the woman of Endor, we are reminded of the complexity of biblical narratives and the diverse interpretations they inspire. Perhaps it is in the ongoing quest for understanding that the true essence of this enigmatic tale lies, an invitation to engage in the timeless pursuit of knowledge and enlightenment. And so, the debate continues, inviting us to delve deeper into the layers of history, faith, and human imagination, ever seeking to unravel the mysteries of the ancient texts that continue to shape our understanding of the world. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more thought-minded content like this. Stay tuned for more powerful insights and engaging discussions. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.